I would start this video off by explaining what we're going to be talking about today, but everyone here already knows from the title, so I think it would be a better idea for me to start this video with what I said last time I made a video talking about Guilty Gear. I am not a professional player, I just play the game for fun, and everything I'm going to say is my opinion. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but please keep it civil. But with that disclaimer out of the way, let's get into the video. Now, why do I think Celestial's broken? There are a lot of reasons for this, but I'm going to start off with one of the bigger ones, being that there are a myriad of ways to guarantee getting Celestial. One way is by having people help their friends get in by giving them free wins, which defeats the purpose of the Celestial Challenge. Now, I do this for my friends myself, and I don't feel guilty for doing this because compared to everyone else in Celestial, my friends are basically Umisho. But I and many others only do this because the game lets you, and because not participating in this to try to stop the Celestial problem is as meaningless as becoming vegan for the sole purpose of helping animals. The problem with this is that it's kind of hard to stop people from helping their friends since the game is cross-platform. So the best they could do is make it that you can't matchmake with people you follow in-game and people you have friended on your console while doing the Celestial Challenge. But since all you would need to do is unfollow and temporarily unfriend your friends to keep doing this, it's kind of hard to stop this exploit. The best way to deal with this, in my opinion, is if they made it so that if you have played with someone in private lobbies for the past few months, you shouldn't be allowed to fight them while doing the Celestial Challenge, but there's still one other way of getting in. If you don't have any friends, because you're a zoner in a grappler neighborhood, you can still guarantee Celeste for yourself. All you have to do is close application as soon as you're about to lose. Now, I'm not a saint. I'm not innocent of this either. I have done this about 8 times. Not 8 times as in I've done this for about 8 months. 8 times as in I've closed app about 8 times. Now, I know I'm a scumbag for this, but in my defense, if I'm fighting another person that has the Celestial Challenge and I lose, I will take the loss, because closing my app in that situation would take something away from the other player. A moral that this Ramlethal player clearly doesn't have. But it's a Ramlethal player, and all Ramlethal players are either hardcore sims to the point where they don't care how boring her gameplay is, or they're the kind of person that can't grasp the concept of object permanence. Personally, I'm never going to do this again because I recently found out that if you do this, the game doesn't update your stats in-game or on rating update, so people could just cheese their way into being the #1 player for any character just by closing app every time they lose. Like I said before, the only reason people do this is because the game allows them to. If the game would just have it so that if people disconnected from the game, the person that stayed automatically wins and they automatically lose, that would be fair. And for the people that are thinking, but Scopida, what if the person just has bad internet? That's not their fault. People with bad internet shouldn't be allowed to play fighting games to begin with. If your rollback frames are higher than like 4 on average, go play Genshin Impact. That way you can still go to my channel for content. Street Fighter 6 has actually implemented a new mechanic lately where if someone closes app, an ID number unique to that user shows on screen so that even if they change their name in-game or in real life, they will never escape their sins. I think this should be a new standard mechanic in fighting games because I think it's a completely fair thing to publicly shame the shortcomings of dickheads. When getting into Celestial is as easy as doing a zombies Easter egg in Black Ops Cold War with Mr. Waffleman in your squad, what happens to the skill floor of Celestial? What happens is that you go against some dumbass that doesn't know what a fucking Oki setup is, people that spam unsafe fireballs in the air against the guy that can make your entire screen look like abstract art made by a schizophrenic, and people spam reversal supers as frequently as they don't get beaten by their absent fathers. Because of this, you would expect that the Aura players are the real Celestial players, the kinds of people that embody the kind of high-skill play that is expected of a rank with such a prestigious name. The number of times I have seen someone with an Aura and thought, wow, this guy's going to be a challenge, I hope that I can at least learn something from this experience if nothing else, just to wipe the floor with them while simultaneously doing my taxes and shaving my dog is astounding. I don't understand how auras work. I've never gotten an aura since I've never played towers long enough to get it, but unless I'm mistaken, it should take some sort of skill to earn it. I know that being a high rank in a game feels good, but I think that that's something that should be earned, and games are starting to forget that. In Rainbow Six Siege, they have recently overhauled their ranked system from a classic you win, you go up a rank, you lose, you go down a rank system, to where ranked and skill-based matchmaking are separate. You barely lose MMR by losing, and you get a bunch of MMR for winning. Because nobody likes to lose, and if everyone's rank goes up, everyone's happy. Just make skill-based separate so everyone isn't mixed together. Fortnite has the same problem. If you play ranked in that game, you can only lose your rank once you're around gold, and even then, you need to be pretty bad at the game to lose your rank. The way I see it, if someone's bad at a game and can't deal with being shown that they're bad, the game isn't required to tell them otherwise. That just makes it that people that actually deserve high ranks don't feel anything special, because if everyone's a high rank, does it really have that much value? After Bridget was added, Strive blew up, and a lot of players that have never played a fighting game before started playing the game, including Towers. Because of this, the saturation of low-skilled players made the average skill in the game much lower than it already was. And getting high ranks in the game wasn't even that hard to begin with before this. Strive was the first fighting game I ever really played, unless you count For Honor, and I got to floor 7 or 8 within a week or two just by playing Axel when he was at his lowest. And when I mean his lowest, I mean 214S wasn't buffed yet, and they removed Axel Bomber loops, although that didn't even matter because I didn't even know what a Tiger Knee or an Axel Bomber was at that point. Even when not considering Celestial, Tower has always been a place that hasn't been hard to get a high rank in. I feel like from floor 1 to 5, it's like a tutorial. 6 is where you kind of get shown and challenged to see if you can actually deal with playing the game. And floor 7 is where ranked actually starts in the game. Arc System Works has said in the beginning of Season 3 that they wanted to add another floor above Celestial, because Celestial is stuffed with players, and although this sounds good in theory, and I am excited since they said they would be adding rewards, which I hope is developer for special skins, it won't be long until the same problem happens again. I have two ideas that I think could fix the problem with Celestial. The first and laziest one is to remove the Celestial challenge and just make Celestial like all the other floors. If you keep winning, you stay in it. If you keep losing, you get sent out. Maybe boost the amount of XP you get from wins so that people are willing to risk that sexy orange wanted poster for more levels. That way people don't just camp on their rank like people already do in floor 10. This way people can't get locked in Celestial without worrying about losing their rank. The fact that the highest rank in the game is the easiest to keep is so dumb because it turns into a casual lobby that just so happens to have people that aren't complete dog shit at the game for the most part. Another idea which I think would fix the bottlenecking problem in high floors is if Strive started implementing more ranks like in other games. For example, if you're floor 7, you need to get past rank 7.9 to get to 8. And beating higher ranked players gets you more MMR, and losing to lower ranked players makes you lose more MMR. Which is shown to you at all times on your wanted poster, so you always know how much is at stake at any time, instead of the game only telling you the match before you actually lose or gain a rank. This way, instead of making more floors, Arxis could just repurpose the old ones and make the levels of skill in each floor more diverse. Instead of having floors 1 to 5 be floors where people who have never searched a game tutorial in their life play on, floors 6 to 7 being the midpoint, and 8 to 10 being where anyone who actually plays the game stays up. Now, contrary to what you might believe from this entire rant, I'm not a very competitive player. In Strive, I rather play private lobbies with friends or play Park rather than play Tower, and in Rainbow Six Siege, a game I have 1,600 hours on at this point, I think I've only played ranked a handful of times. I really only play Tower and Strive in the beginning of every month so I could get that crispy orange wanted poster, and to level up any new characters in the game to 200 to see if I like them or not. But when I go into a competitive mode, I expect a challenge. I'm not that good at Strive, and if these changes were to be implemented and I go down to like floor 8 or something, I would be fine with that because I would be shown that I still have a lot of things I need to do to become actually good at the game. There is a saying in Brazil, and I don't know if this is a saying in the US because I've never heard anyone say anything near it, but it goes something like, "O homem em cima do monte não precisa mover," which basically just says, in translation, the man on top of the hill doesn't need to move. And I feel like that is such a perfect way to describe how I feel towards Celestial, because if I'm already the highest rank in the game, why would I need to improve? What's the purpose of spending time in lab and learning matchups if I could just hop on the game for 10 minutes on the first week of every month and get the highest rank in the game and just keep it for, you know, an entire month? ArcSys will probably never change how their ranked system works, but it's nice to dream sometimes. Thank you everybody for watching this video, it really does mean a lot to me. You should probably subscribe since only -4% of you are. Next video is either going to be on Genshin Impact or the housing market, and with that all being said, goodbye.